What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Powerhouse Mentality podcast. I'm your host. I'm Caitlin Kenneth Smith, and on today's episode of the podcast, I'm going to talk a little bit about the new direction that the Powerhouse Mentality is going in, as far as our mission, or my mission, and my vision when it comes to how I can help you, right? Because I put out 3 episodes a week with this podcast. I have a private Facebook community where I put out a ton of information. I do a live training every single week for the people in there, as well as offer a lot of service and value. I also have my one-on-one coaching, which is where I deliver the absolute most value and how I make the biggest impact. And with my one-on-one coaching, the biggest focus is helping the individual step into their own power. Yes, we focus on nutrition. Yes, we focus on fitness. That's a huge foundation of that. But the biggest thing is breaking through limiting beliefs that have held you back, as well as building up a mindset and building discipline. You can call me a discipline coach if you'd like, but really it all comes down to one thing, and that's teaching you how to stop tolerating your own bullshit. And maybe it's a little bit cut and dry, and maybe it's a little bit straightforward, and maybe it's not for everybody. But that's okay, right? Because I'm not trying to be for everybody. My coaching isn't for everybody. The community that I have isn't for everybody. The podcast isn't for everybody. It's for those who need it and who know that, hey, I have this goal that I want to accomplish mentally, physically, emotionally. I want to become the best version of myself. I want to stop holding myself back. I want to prove to myself that I truly am limitless. But for some reason, I can't do it. And generally, it's because you are allowing yourself to really just fall for your own bullshit. And I'll talk a little bit about like what your own bullshit means, right? I'll define that. But the biggest thing it comes down to is that we all make excuses. Everybody has them, right? Everybody's heard this saying probably before. Excuses are like assholes. We all have them, and they're disgusting. And they hold us back. Let's be honest. But your excuses sound silly to everybody but you. I mean, think about it like this. If your friend said to you, like, I want to get in shape, I really want to lose weight, and I've wanted to lose weight for over a year, I've been struggling with this, and I keep gaining weight, but, I just don't have enough time. Or, but, work's crazy, but, the kids have a lot of after-school activities. What do you think about that person? Like, what do you think when somebody tells you something like that? Do you think like, oh yeah, that's reasonable. Like you should definitely put off your own happiness and success because of this thing that's happening in your life. You should wait until the perfect moment, which we all damn know that perfect moment doesn't exist and never comes. So think about it from your perspective. If you're sitting there and you're saying, yeah, I really want to accomplish this goal, but damn, I just don't have enough time, or it's not the right moment. Or, I'll wait until after the holidays because why not wait 3 months and risk being further off from where I want to be? Or, it's not really in the cards right now because I don't want to invest the time. I don't want to invest the money in it. So when are you going to? Because the amount of people that I hop on the phone with to talk about one-on-one coaching, and, I'm digging and I'm asking questions and I'm asking like, hey, okay, what's your goal? Why now? Why is it important now? Why me? Why have you contacted me? Why have you reached out to me? Why are you on the phone with me? Because there are so many other coaches that you could have reached out to. Or, what's your biggest struggle when it comes to accomplishing your goal? And how long have you been struggling with that for? Like if you say why now because you're sick of walking into a room and not feeling confident, or you're sick of looking in the mirror and not being happy with the person that you see, and you've been struggling with this for over a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you can't seem to get it down, then when I tell you about my program and how I can help you, you tell me that you need to think about it. I just don't understand. You told me that, one, you were ready to take action now because you were sick of feeling like this. And you've been struggling with it for years. And you can't seem to figure it out on your own. So you finally reached out for help, which is such a huge step. But now you have to think about it. First of all, When somebody tells me that they need to think about it, number one, that's a smokescreen. They're just trying to buy time. Or really, they're just trying to buy another excuse and another reason not to take action. The truth of the matter is that I get that finances are tough right now. I get that there's a lot of people out there who truly can't afford certain things. But I also understand that if it's worth it to you, you will find the money. You will find a way. And I say that not to be judgmental or not to be completely naive, because I've done it myself and I do it still to this day. If something I know that I invest in is going to pay me back tenfold, then I'm going to invest in it. If something is going to make me a better person, mentally, physically, I'm going to invest in it. I'm going to find a way to make it happen. And I've done that so many times. I have 3 coaches right now: a business coach, a nutrition coach, and a fitness coach. Because I know that I need every single one of those people in my corner in order for me to build the life that I want to build and to become the version of myself that I want to become. Could you do it on your own? You could. I'm sure you could. There are people who do it on their own without a coach. But the reality is that most people need accountability. Most people need a coach or a mentor. Most people need somebody to push them, need somebody to support them, and need somebody to take the emotions out of the journey. You can do it alone, but, that's going to put a lot more pressure and responsibility on you. And what I found is that most people can't do it, and it usually comes down to the mindset, the emotions. Because think of it this way. Most of you know what to do. If you want to lose weight, you know what to do, I'm sure. You could Google a plan, like, how do I lose weight? And you can Google it. You can go to fucking AI and you can type it in, how do I lose weight? Or give me a nutrition plan, here's my weight, here's my goal. You can do that. And people know that. Like, you can scroll on social media and I'm sure you can find a ton of information to put together something. But for some reason, you still don't fucking do it. And it's because you don't have the accountability. Like, you'll do it for a week and then, it got hard, so I stopped. Or, something came up, so I stopped. Or, oops, I messed up one day, so guess I'll just throw in the towel. Or, here's my favorite one. The results aren't coming fast enough, so I guess I'll quit. Bruh, you've been doing it for 10 days. It took you 4 years to get to this point. Do you think that it's going to take you 10 days to reverse it? Again, most people know what they need to do, but for some reason they don't do it. Or they can't stay consistent with it. So if it matters to you, you will make time, you will find the money, you will find a way. And again, I'm not saying this to be arrogant. I'm saying this because I've done it. I've seen my clients do it. I've seen people literally who lose their jobs while they're being coached by me. And I ask, like, hey, do we need to put the membership on pause? Do we need to, have a conversation? And they say no, because I know that this coaching is making me better and will help me find another job, will help me be mentally stronger so I can become a better version of myself. I've done that before too. Back when I first started working with my previous coach, Kevin, there was a point in time where I left my job at the gym when I was being coached by him, and every month the payment would bounce, and every month my bank account would go into the negatives, until eventually I was like, you know what, let's throw it on a credit card and I'll pay it off. And then eventually my credit card ran out, and then eventually I just had to make it fucking happen. And I found a way. If it matters to you, you'll find a way. Is that maybe the smartest thing? Maybe not. But it paid off for me, because working with Kevin gave me a very, very powerful perspective towards mindset, towards business, towards fitness, and allowed me to step into my purpose. Now, like I said, if it matters to you, you're going to find time. Because time is another big thing that people make an excuse for. And there's a difference between making time and finding time. So you will make time. If you're finding time, you're going to go through your day and you're going to kind of be looking for it. and you're probably not going to find it. Because let's be honest, life always fucking punches you in the face. However, when you're making time, that means you're planning, right? You're forward thinking, you're backwards planning. So you know that like, okay, I have a lot of responsibilities that I have right now, but I also want to make my fitness and my health and my mindset and my personal development a priority as well. Because those are the things that are going to make me better in life. So what you need to do is forward think, backwards plan. I got to wake up at 5 a.m. to get to the gym before work because that's the only time that I can do it. Great. So how can I backwards plan for that? That means that I need to go to bed at this time. That means I have to get my stuff ready and start my nighttime routine at this time. That means that I have to eat dinner at this time. You backwards plan to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success in order to execute on your plan. But then understand that sometimes when you set a plan that you may have to pivot. You may have to adapt because, again, life likes to punch us in the face. And there's nothing wrong with that. The problem that most people have is that they think, and they have a skewed perspective towards this, that you're just born with a strong mindset or you're just born with discipline. And you're not born with discipline. Maybe there are some people out there who catch on to it a little bit more quickly, and I think it all has to do with the environment that you grew up in, right? If you grew up in an environment that made you more resilient, then I think then you have a different perspective towards life. However, like, people come to me and they're like, oh, I wish I had as much discipline as you. I wish I had the motivation that you have. And first of all, motivation, I talk about it all the time. Motivation is a feeling. Like happiness, like sadness, you will never expect to be happy or sad all the time. So you cannot expect to be motivated all the time. It's the same damn thing. I'm not motivated all the time. But I get the stuff done that I tell myself that I'm going to do regardless because I have built the discipline through doing the things that I know I need to do, even when I don't want to do them. And that's the difference between people who end up being successful and people who end up settling and never really stop tolerating their own bullshit because they keep feeding into it, right? So I wasn't born with discipline. I earned it. And I earned it because I hit rock bottom too many times than I can actually count in my life to the point where I was like, you know what? Enough is enough. Life is short. Am I going to really continue to just feed into my own bullshit and listen to all of these excuses that I'm lining up? Because I see there's so many people out there who have the same old excuse as me, or they could use the same old excuse that I'm using. However, they're not, and they're more successful than I am, and they're where I want to be. And I know that I can get there. I didn't always believe that. But that's where the Powerhouse Mentality started, is when I started 75 Hard back in 2020, when the whole government shutdown happened and I lost my job and I lost my livelihood, I lost everything, is what I thought. I used that opportunity as my come up, all right? I said to myself, okay, well, I'm going to go all in on myself. And if I go all in on myself and it doesn't work out, well, then at least I tried. And I never looked back. There have been so many hard, impossible moments since that time. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat anything. There were so many difficult times. There were times where I didn't think that I was going to be able to make it financially, where I didn't think I was going to pay my rent. I didn't think I was going to be able to buy groceries. Where I couldn't drive my car because I couldn't fill it up with gas. There were so many times where that shit happened. And there were a lot of times where I just had doubt when it came to like, I'm never going to get stronger. I'm never going to get better at CrossFit. I'm never going to be able to build this business. I'm never going to be able to get clients on my own. And guess what? I did every single fucking one of those things. And I didn't get those things because I sat on my ass and I said, I really wish that this could happen. I really wish that I could make a change. Or I'll wait until, a couple weeks from now when I feel more ready to do it. No, I just fucking did it. I used to be that person. But then I said enough is enough. I need to stop tolerating my own shit. And I need to take action. Messy action. And it always was very messy. And it always is very messy. But too many of you are allowing other people in your life to dictate your happiness and success. And you're also paying too much attention to what people think who aren't in the position that you want to be in. Like, you're taking advice from people who aren't where you want to be. Why are you doing that? If I want to grow my business, I'm not going to ask the person who can't book a client. I'm not going to ask the online coach who's making $1,000 a month. I'm going to talk to the person who's making $50,000 a month and has earned the right to be a successful online coach. I'm going to ask that person. I'm going to ask the most successful business person in the room. But usually it's less about asking and more about fucking doing it and learning from other people, but also learning through your own mistakes and through your own experiences. Too many people fall for their own shit. Now, let's talk about what exactly that means, right? Because you say, okay, Caitlin, I understand. I have bullshit. I know that I feed myself bullshit all the time. I eat it for breakfast. But what exactly does that look like? Because there might be some people out there who are like, well, I don't know. Am I tolerating my own bullshit, or are my excuses valid, right? Because there's a difference between an excuse and something that's happening. However, you're either interested in seeing results or you're committed to seeing results. If you're interested, you're going to do it until life gets in the way. You're going to do it until it becomes inconvenient, which is probably going to happen almost immediately. Now, if you're committed, you're going to get that shit done regardless. You're not going to accept excuses. You're only going to accept results and progress. Some of the biggest things that I see people deal with when it comes to those excuses that hold them back, the bullshit that holds them back, is fear of failure. Right? So people worry about not succeeding, so they try to avoid altogether taking action to protect themselves from that potential disappointment. You know, I've spoken about it a lot on the podcast, but it wasn't until I stopped fearing failure and started embracing it and really leaning into it and using it as a learning opportunity that I started to grow, not just in business, not just in life, but also in training. Like, it's wild. Another excuse is lack of time, right? How many of you have used that one before? It's a common excuse where people claim that they're too busy, even though they might not be managing their time effectively. Like I said, if it matters to you, you will make time. And it comes down to it comes down to forward thinking and backwards planning. This is a big one, perfectionism. So this one is it's the belief that everything needs to be perfect before starting. And most people never take the first step because it's never perfect. If you're waiting for the perfect opportunity to start, you're never going to start. It's never going to be perfect, so start now. Because now is the second best time. The best time is yesterday. Lack of resources is another reason. People often believe they need more money, more skills, more support before they can start. Even if they could begin with what they have. Okay, so maybe you're one of those people who's in a position where you actually can't afford right now. You can't afford coaching, but you know you want to lose weight. You know you want to build your own mindset. You know you want to stop tolerating your own bullshit. You can still take action, right? There's plenty of resources that you can go to. YouTube, podcasts, this podcast. You can get in the Powerhouse Mentality Facebook group. That's free. You can go on a walk if you want to lose weight. You can go on a run. You can go work out with your body weight. You can go start eating healthier, right? All of these things you don't need a ton of resources for. You're using your lack of resources as the excuse to why you can't take action again. Fear of judgment. You're worrying about what others might think, and that's going to hold you back from taking action, especially in situations where you feel vulnerable, which on a weight loss journey or a journey where you're trying to improve your mindset, it's a very vulnerable situation, and most people don't want to get vulnerable. But once you become vulnerable and you can accept who you are and where you're at and face that harsh reality, you're going to be able to move forward and take action. Procrastination. So you're delaying everything. You're delaying tasks and you're convincing yourself that there's going to be a better time. And that's going to lead to that indefinite postponement of you actually starting. I'll start tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. How many fucking times have you told yourself that you're going to start tomorrow? And then all of a sudden it turns into, I'll start on Monday. And then it turns into, I'll start on the first of the month. And then I'll start at the first of the year. And then we're over halfway through 2024, almost at the end of 2024. How are your New Year's resolutions going? Like, real talk, how are they going? Think about it. Another one is comfort zone. People want to stay in a familiar, comfortable situation because it feels safer than stepping into the unknown. But in order for you to grow, you have to intentionally seek discomfort every day. That's a big thing that I teach to my clients and to the community of the Powerhouse Mentality. Seek discomfort every single day. Intentional discomfort. You know that change and you know that getting out of your comfort zone is going to lead to a better outcome, but you're afraid to do it because you're afraid to lose the comfort that you have. And the unfortunate truth is a lot of people, they find comfort in the pain of remaining the same. And it's not until the pain of change becomes less than the pain that they're currently in that they actually take action. And there's a paradox, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's a phenomenon where most people would actually benefit from their situation being worse because if the situation were worse, they would take action. A lot of people are almost stuck in this limbo where their job kind of sucks, but it doesn't suck enough to leave it. So they kind of remain a little bit miserable and they hate their life, but it's not too miserable. Like, I'll accept it. I'll tolerate it. People do this all the time with relationships. Like, you're in a relationship and you know that it's, a little bit toxic and maybe it's not working out very well, but you don't want to be alone. How many of you have been there? I've been there. You would actually benefit from the relationship being worse. You would actually benefit from your job being worse or your situation being worse because when things get really bad, then you're like, you know what? I have to take action because I can't remain here. A lot of people just feel overwhelmed. Like they feel like the task or the goal that they're setting for themselves is too big or too complicated. And that can cause you to freeze and kind of have that paralysis by analysis. And it prevents you from even trying. I know that a lot of people, they scroll through social media and they want to make a change with their health and their fitness. And they scroll on social media and they get really overwhelmed because you see one person without a shirt in the grocery store screaming at you, telling you that you can't eat fucking broccoli because it's going to kill you. And then you see another person saying that you can't eat meat because that's killing you. And then you can't eat eggs because that's killing you. But then, of course, you can't eat cereal because that's also killing you. So then you get so overwhelmed because you have no idea where to even begin that you say, you know what, fuck it. It's just easier to do what I'm doing because everything's killing me. So I might as well just keep doing the killing me that I'm doing because this is comfortable. You might have self-doubt. You have the lack of confidence in your own ability or the belief that you're not good enough and you don't deserve success. And that's one of the biggest things that I work on with my clients is that there are limiting beliefs that people have. They think that they're not good enough. They don't deserve success. So they keep self-sabotaging themselves. Or they don't even try. Or they get a little bit of success and in their brain they think, I can't do this. I don't deserve this. So fuck that. And then you mess up. And you do it every single time. One of the biggest things I work on with my clients is working on the mindset to develop the belief in themselves. And we earn that. So all of those excuses, I'm sure that I know that like listing those things out and talking about those things, I totally get it. Like I've made every single one of those excuses more times than I can count. And I still make excuses today. Like I'm not perfect. I'm not a fucking robot. I'm a human being too. I make excuses. But the difference is that when I make an excuse, I'm aware of it. And I understand that if I ever want to grow and if I ever want to get better, I have to stop tolerating my own bullshit. And I have to move forward with my life. And you have to do the same. So here's what I want to offer to you guys. At the beginning of September, I'm recording this on August 24th and it'll be out to you guys on August 26th. At the beginning of September, I'm increasing my pricing for one-on-one coaching. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm providing so much value and time into this that I want to make sure that people are investing the right amount into it because the people who invest more are the people who are going to see better results and are truly committed. But I understand that there are a lot of people out there who are afraid to take action. And I want to give you an excuse to take action because, hey, you're already making your own excuses, so you might as well take this one. If you're listening to this podcast and you're resonating with all of this bullshit and you're like, you know what, I don't want to make these excuses anymore. I want to make a change in my life and I want to step into my own power. I'm offering for everybody who signs up until the beginning of September. So this offer is good from August 26th through September 1st. I'm offering 50% off of your first month of coaching. And then every month after that will be grandfathered into the old pricing structure. All you have to do in order to lock this in is go down below into the show notes. You can do two things. One, you can send me an email at thepowerhousementality@gmail.com telling me that you're interested. You know what? I'll make it super fucking easy for you. I want you to just send me an email with the subject line, no BS, and then just in the email, tell me your name and your phone number, and I'll shoot you a text and we'll figure this out. The second option you can do is you can send me a DM with the same thing. Just say no BS on Instagram at Caitlin Kenna Fitness, no BS, and I'll reach out to you and we'll have a conversation. I want to help you and I want to help more people. I want to create a bigger impact because I know that if I can impact one person and I can help change that person's life, that it's going to change another because of the ripple effect, and then another, and then another. And more people deserve to stop tolerating their own bullshit, to learn that they're not limitless or that they are limitless, and to become the best version of themselves, mind, body, and soul. So again, if you want to take advantage of the 50% off of your first month of coaching plus being locked into the old pricing structure, now through September 1st, send me an email, thepowerhousementality@gmail.com with the subject no BS with your name and phone number in the email, or send me a DM on Instagram with no BS at Caitlin Kenna Fitness. I hope that this episode of the podcast was valuable to you. If it was, please share it with at least one person and go out today and do one thing that's going to take you one step closer to where you want to be.